Are the riots in Dublin a sign that extremist politics are gaining a foothold in Ireland? Okay, so explain what I read it, but you have to explain it.
It's pretty wild. So Ireland, I had to reread the story several times.
It was about Musk, wasn't it?
No, it was really kind of it's a fomenting of a sort of very, very tiny minority that's very loud and very violent. That it basically it's anti-immigration and it's all the usual populist kind of conversations. I think
what stirred them up? Wasn't it something on Twitter? I refuse to call it X.
A lot of it comes down to like rumors and misinformation, but it's grounded, and so Twitter's a big part of that there in this case. But
Twitter's better, isn't it? I feel like it's so much easier to go. Twitter, I refuse to call it X, then go X, formerly Twitter.
Yeah. On a charged episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, the stage is set for a conversation that cuts to the heart of Ireland's growing tensions. Against the backdrop of Dublin's recent riots, a shocking eruption in a country long seen as a bastion of progress and inclusivity, Maher turns to his guest for insight. A nation grappling with an unprecedented wave of anti-immigration extremism, its streets alive with protests, its people torn between fear and identity. With Maher's trademark wit and the guest's deep understanding of Ireland's socio-political fabric, the discussion delves into the forces at play. At the center of it all, the role of social media, Twitter, or X, as it's now controversially known, is scrutinized for amplifying misinformation and fanning the flames of division. What does this mean for Ireland, a country that has navigated so much change in recent decades? And what does it reveal about the fragile balance between free speech and societal harmony in an increasingly digital world? As the conversation unfolds, the stakes are laid bare, and the implications resonate far beyond Ireland's borders.
X used to be a drug, like that's what people used to, but...
And I'm also going to call Kanye Kanye. I'm not going to go with that.
Speaking of Ireland, but the Irish thing, though, I mean, honestly, like the thing that concerns me is that whenever you start having a pretty sort of violent, extremely right-wing riot in Ireland, I mean, this is unprecedented.
We've had them here.
Yeah. But I mean, never in Ireland. Like, I mean, Ireland it is so antithetical to everything, we know about. Ireland was the first country to, by popular vote, legalize gay marriage, I mean, Ireland is one of the most liberal
late
places.
in the game, though.
A lot has changed.
What year was that?
That was 15 years ago, 10 years ago?
That's kind of late in the game.
All right. Raise a glass to Shane MacGowan, by the way, speaking of Ireland.
Yeah.
But I will say... Henry the Pogues died this week.
I'm Irish, I should know this.
The attempt to ban hate speech in Ireland that got passed recently, we see the same thing going on in France, and they can't seem to understand that they passed these anti-Semitism laws in the 90s, and somehow anti-Semitism got worse. And it's because you told all the anti-Semites that they can only talk to other anti-Semites. Yeah. What did you expect to happen?
Yeah. And this is actually the same thing on college campuses. Yeah. When students are not talking to one another, they're not like having civil discourse, opinions don't go away because you ban someone saying them. We need to get, especially students on campus, make them sit down and talk, make them debate, and make them say this to each other's faces.
This is one of the most important things that your show's doing right now, which is defining liberal values and saying we need to stand up against liberalism on the left as well as the right. And there's a group of common sense Democrats, liberal patriots, radical centrists that need to start taking the conversation back.
The rise of extremist anti-immigration sentiments in Ireland marks an unprecedented and unsettling chapter in the nation's history. Dublin, once a symbol of Ireland's progress and inclusivity, has become the focal point of violent riots driven by populist rhetoric and misinformation. The turmoil reflects deeper societal tensions as a vocal minority amplifies their message through the powerful and often unchecked channels of social media. Platforms like Twitter, now rebranded as X, stand accused of fueling these tensions by enabling the rapid spread of rumors and divisive narratives. As a result, misinformation has not only heightened fear, but also ignited a cultural reckoning, with questions raised about the delicate balance between free speech and societal harmony. This wave of unrest challenges Ireland's image as a progressive and peaceful nation, forcing its leaders and citizens to confront the dangerous intersection of immigration, nationalism, and the digital age. The world watches as Ireland navigates this crisis, offering a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities faced by democracies in the 21st century.
What are the panel's thoughts on Hunter Biden being indicted?
Look, it just shows that the equal justice under law exists. The president's son, is going to get busted for evading taxes, and he did it in a moment of grief. And that doesn't really matter because he got to obey the law, no matter whose son you are, no matter who.
It does really.
There's no two-tier justice.
It does really point out that one side does consider the law a little more seriously than the other. And the fact that they kind of compare it to Trump, like Hunter Biden is not our hero.
The indictment of Hunter Biden serves as a litmus test for the principle of equal justice under the law, thrusting a president's family into the glare of legal scrutiny. As the son of President Joe Biden faces charges of tax evasion, the case underscores a stark reality. No one, regardless of their political lineage, is above the law. Yet, the controversy also exposes the sharp partisan divide in how political figures and their families are perceived. To some, it is evidence of a system willing to hold even the most powerful accountable. To others, it invites comparisons to the treatment of opposing political figures, fueling claims of a two-tiered justice system. The indictment does more than probe Hunter Biden's actions. It serves as a mirror reflecting America's polaris political landscape. In a nation where the law is often wielded as both a shield and a sword, the case ignites a broader debate about fairness, accountability, and the enduring challenges of bridging partisan divide.
What kind of interference can we expect from Russia as the 2024 election heats up?
None needed.
Well, but actually, there's a story that just came out yesterday in the UK that the U.S. was involved as well, that Russia is doing cyber hacking specifically with the goal of not only disrupting their election, but eroding faith in democracy itself. And I think that's the larger stakes. And we've seen this on TikTok, a lot of these things that go viral. You've discussed that. And now, you see Trump losing no opportunity to praise Xi in every campaign speech. The guy, Donald Trump, loves dictators. But I think that dramatically increases the chance of interference only because people are going to want, those autocratic alternatives are going to want to degrade democracy and put us on a path towards decline.
But are we flattering ourselves in thinking that that's what they need to do as opposed to sit back and watch? I mean, people, there was, of course, the misinformation campaign and bots on Twitter making us all, get outraged and row and fight. But it feels like that's taken on an organic life of its own now. And perhaps we're flattering ourselves by saying it must be interference. We see this in other parts of the world, whenever people, rise up against their leaders and everyone says it's a conspiracy. I mean, by all means, Russia will and would love to interfere, but I kind of wonder if, these days they really need to. I mean, this election is not looking too tight.
Yeah. In canceling, we talk a lot about what experts have done to undermine their own credibility, unfortunately, in recent years, and that's also a big thing that Russia's trying to do as well. And unfortunately, they're complementing each other in the worst possible way.
Sure.
When the 2024 election is just over, the specter of Russian interference once again casts a shadow over American democracy. Experts warn of cyber-hacking campaigns and misinformation tactics designed not only to disrupt the electoral process, but to erode trust in democracy itself. Yet, amidst this warning, a provocative question arises. Does Russia even need to interfere anymore? With polarization at unprecedented levels, some argue that the divisions once amplified by foreign actors have now taken on a life of their own, fueled by organic outrage and a fractured political landscape. Social media platforms, often a battleground for disinformation, have become self-sustaining engines of discord, where misinformation spreads without the need for external meddling. The debate underscores a deeper concern: the fragility of democratic systems when internal rifts are so easily exploited. Whether through active interference or the passive encouragement of existing divisions, Russia's tactics highlight a fundamental vulnerability, raising urgent questions about resilience, unity, and the future of democratic governance in a polarized age. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking discussions and insights. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you next time. Ett kärma säger det kritiskt barn, och kristen är sin descendants.